After years of investigating the D.B. Cooper case and searching for lost evidence, Eric Ulis readies himself for DNA results that could break the case wide open. He'll be speaking to an analyst at the lab tasked with testing a sample taken directly from the tie Cooper left behind on the plane. Should DNA be found within the sample, the results could reopen a near 50-year-old case and confirm Eric's suspicions about a person of interest.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Well, my name is Samantha Wandzek, and I currently work at DNA Labs International. We're a private laboratory out of Deerfield Beach in Florida, but we have clients in over 40 states, so it's very easy to go back to any cold case and find more work to be done. So for this case, I was actually the reporting analyst for it.
And how did you tackle this material that I sent to you to try to ascertain whether or not there's any DNA or not?
Due to the size of the filter, we actually cut it up in teeny tiny chunks and then sent the whole filter for extraction. That's the first stage of the DNA testing process. We then try to determine how much DNA, if any, is present in the sample. If we have enough DNA, we'll then send it forward for amplification. When you have cases that are old, typically you'll see a sample will be degraded. That DNA is just going to break apart over time, and you're just not going to have as much intact DNA. But I was very surprised with the results.
So there was DNA in the filter.
We did end up with a profile from one male individual.
Is there some way to quantify, like, the strength? I mean, is it one of these things where 1 out of a billion people would match this particular profile? Like, how strong is it? What can it tell us?
Typically, once you have over 20 locations, you would have to see hundreds, thousands, millions of planet Earths with our same current population to expect to see that profile one time. So once you have over those 20 locations, it usually becomes very rare.
So what you're telling me is that we are the very first people outside of the FBI to actually have D.B. Cooper's DNA profile. I'm anxious to find out what that means. What can it tell us in comparison to DNA profile from one of Sheridan Peterson's daughters? Does it match?
She is not the biological daughter of the male donor that we found.
Wow, that's stunning. I mean, it's really remarkable given everything I know about this guy. It's a game changer, obviously. The one thing that's very encouraging to me, though, is that we have a very solid DNA profile from the tie. Getting a DNA profile is so important because it can provide assurance to me and others that this case is actually solvable. I do very much appreciate all the effort that you folks put into this, and I'm just very grateful that we've got a solid DNA profile, and I'm grateful that we have some resolution with respect to Sheridan Peterson. So again, thank you very much for your efforts and your time.
Please feel free to contact me with any additional questions that you have.
We will do that.
Now armed with new information from the lab, Eric calls Agent Mary Jean Fryer to share the results.
Right now, I want to give Mary Jean a call, and I want to let her know what I have learned. Because Mary Jean has really helped move my investigation forward, and I'm sure she's going to want to know what I've learned about the DNA. Hey, Mary Jean, how you doing? It's Eric Ulis calling.
Hey there.
I've got a DNA update. Finally have some results from the lab in Florida. They did come up with a full DNA profile, and it's from a male.
I'm getting really excited. My stomach's like in knots because I'm hoping that it's him.
They proved 100% that the DNA does not match.
Oh, damn!
Sheridan Peterson is not D.B. Cooper.
Last conversation I had with Sheridan, he point blank refused to go forward with get the DNA results.
I am absolutely convinced that the DNA that we have is D.B. Cooper's DNA. So if anybody matches this DNA profile, all 20 points, that's your guy. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Can we run it in databases and find him, or is this a lost cause at this point?
They actually can utilize it to run through the CODIS system, but of course that involves, law enforcement getting involved and the courts getting involved.
Eric, I think what you've done is more than the FBI ever did, and I would think this is enough that if we need law enforcement, they've got to take this back and reopen it. This is damn good evidence. This is better than they've ever come with, and maybe they can actually solve this case with your help.
I honestly believe we will eventually figure out who this guy was. Thank you very much.
Take care.
After narrowing down Cooper's possible landing site and eliminating an FBI person of interest, Eric's even more determined to continue his mission.
I feel very empowered at the moment. I feel more motivated than ever because having this DNA profile provides an outstanding blueprint as I continue to pursue this case. I am now actually armed with precisely what I need to determine who D.B. Cooper was and, more importantly, to prove it. Time in a D.B. Cooper case has served as a double-edged sword. In one sense, you have, firsthand witnesses that pass on and memories fade. But in another sense, we have advances in science and technology. And I think when all is said and done, time is going to be our friend, because I firmly believe that this DNA profile is ultimately what's going to break this case wide open and is what is going to solve this case.